Back here, Herc, as you know, I was down in L.A. last week.
Yes, I know. I've seen you all over social media and Instagram. I'm tired of it.
You saw my feet sticking out.
You were poolside, beer in hand. I was jealous.
Beer was not in hand. Beer was on the table next to me. It wasn't in hand. Would be in hand soon enough. Okay. But I also got down and I wanted to carve out some time to visit LAFC at their offices and got to chat with Tom Penn, who gave me the tour. And Tom Penn, the president and owner of the LAFC expansion team coming in next season, joins us now. Tom, you've got to be pretty thrilled. You've been at this for a while, and now at least the finish line to start your club is pretty soon. Where are you guys right now?
Well, we're missing you. We're heartsick that you're gone, for starters. It was great to see you, and thanks for coming by. Had some fun. I like that. Yeah, Max, it's crazy. It's actually happening. This whole thing is actually happening with all the years of work and planning. And, you know, right now I'm actually watching online as they're putting our steel roof trusses up and connecting them. We got these live cameras on our website at LAFC.com. It's pretty cool. And there's something about the roof going on that just makes it more real visually and viscerally. And then, of course, more importantly, we're adding all these key people, having Bob Bradley here and Carlos Vela under contract and all these real, you know, forward-facing transactions. It's just made it a lot more like less of a future project and more of a reality. It's great.
Tom, this is Herc. You guys coming into L.A., we're always going to be compared to the L.A. Galaxy. What is it that you see the L.A. Galaxy doing that's going to make you guys different from them?
Well, what we're doing is different. You know, I can control what we're doing, and you know, the first main differentiator for us is, number one, we're new and we're different with our whole ethos, and number two is the location of our stadium. You know, we're located in the heart of Los Angeles, in this park of incredible places. We're in Exposition Park. We're right next to the Coliseum. So anybody from L.A. or from greater Los Angeles knows where that is. We're on the site of the old sports arena, and we're adjacent to the Science Museum, the Natural History Museum. The Space Shuttle Endeavour is going up in a brand-new exhibit right across the way. And then George Lucas is building this amazing Museum of Narrative Art, a billion-dollar project right in the area. So we're on the light rail line. We're right downtown. That just in and of itself is something special and never before seen in L.A. or really in the MLS. So you put on top of that just sort of the style and identity of our team from a brand standpoint, and you know, it's going to be something special.
Tom, over the last couple of years when I was able to get out to some of the MLS stadiums, I saw you there a couple times in Portland once, and a second time down at the StubHub Center. You were out there obviously looking. What was you looking to rub off from other MLS teams that you might be able to pick or look at in order to get your team off and running?
Yeah, the main thing I got in Portland and continue to get from Portland is the supporter culture that they've cultivated. The Timbers Army is unlike anything in North American sport. It really does rival some of the best stuff in Europe. You know, maybe not the stature and the magnitude of the Yellow Wall in Dortmund, for example, but it's the same thing on a smaller scale, and it's just as passionate and just as influential. So that's what hooked me into the sport, made me interested, was when I heard the Timbers Army roaring back in 2010 when I went to my first game, and I was just like, or 2011, I think it was 2010, and I was like, holy cow, this is amazing. And so we're trying to learn from that, replicate that with our supporter section. As far as the best infrastructure in the league, Kansas City has that. Their stadium is a premium-focused building that has a great vibe with their supporter group and an intimate, close-to-the-pitch action. We closely sort of resemble that building, but we've taken it up quite a bit in our capacity, and we're even closer to the pitch with a steeper rake and a roof that keeps the noise in and the sun out. and a lot of innovations that really take it to the next level. So I would say Portland from an ethos standpoint and Kansas City from an infrastructure, those two things were big influences on us.
Tom, I know you guys don't have a set roster yet, but any idea, can you share with us what type of team we can expect from you guys as far as attacking-based possession, what the DNA of the club will be on the field?
It's a better question for John Thorrington and Bob Bradley, but what I've heard those guys both say, quietly and publicly, John starts by saying, we want a team that identifies with the city's image and brand. The way that the Pittsburgh teams all sort of have that blue-collar feel, the way the Steelers represent that marketplace. It's just sort of sustainable that way. That goes to the Pirates and the Penguins in Pittsburgh. His identity of L.A., and he's from here, is that L.A. is creative and L.A. is innovative, and L.A. is sort of a city on the front foot, pushing the envelope and everything. So we want to play a fast, attacking, I won't say Showtime because I'll say it. Sort of a something Showtime-esque, that's pleasing. And then what Bob Bradley says is he wants to be true to the tradition of the game, to play real and authentic good football, but in an exciting Showtime manner, let's call it. I think for L.A. that connects with what the city is all about, and then we're also of the city. So another element of that is just sort of this gritty of the city feeling. We're in the heart of the city. We're connected to the streets. Our building's right up on Figueroa. And, we got our black and gold color scheme, and we've got the grit and texture of our supporters. So you'll see an element of that as part of the way we express this fun style of football.
You said it yourself, Showtime, and when I think to myself,
Magic Johnson's one of their ownership groups, so he can say that.
But when you think of players, what's one player that comes to mind for you, Max?
For Showtime?
Yeah.
Any player?
Any player.
Cristiano,
there it is. Tom. Cristiano. Are we going to see a signing of that magnitude for LAFC?
At some point?
Here's what I've said. I think our stadium is worthy of any player in the world. When this thing is finished, and there's nothing like it on the planet, with all the bells and whistles and with the premium experiences combined with the real supporter-based structure and style that's there. I think any player in the world will want to play here.
Well, what I saw, it's hard to argue that at all there, Tom. The one guy you do have is Carlos Vela. What has your interactions been with him, and how does he fit into that image of this club?
Yes, so similar thing here. Carlos is and he's in the prime of his career at 28 years old. He was sought after by teams in the best leagues in Europe, England, Italy. Heck, I heard from an Italian team that said, man, we tried to get him, we couldn't. He wanted to come back here, and we think he's the most talented player on the Mexican national team right now. I mean, Chicharito is going to score his goals and is going to play well, but Carlos has so many gifts and is so dynamic in the way he can affect the game and do so much more on his own. He's really a compelling talent coming back in the prime of his career. He came in here for a 36-hour run and just took the city by storm. He's beloved. He has a big fan base. He's multilingual or bilingual. He speaks English and Spanish well. And he's going to be a fun, exciting, dynamic player that we can sort of complement and build around. The other real advantage is knowing we have him now. And it was a challenge in a World Cup year with all the tricks that go with that of trying to get somebody to come in January in the middle of their European season. The stars lined up, and we got a player we never really thought we could initially.
I couldn't agree with you more. I happen to feel the same about Carlos Vela being the most talented player in the Mexican national team pool at the moment, and I think it's a great signing in that market, a player of his caliber. What about the Mexican national team player in the LA market makes it so special?
Well, there's a significant fan base baked in here, quite recognizable, tons of attention, and if he performs well at that level, it's a love affair, right? So that helps in just identifying with what amounts to, over 55% of the market here is Latino. Certainly not all Mexican, but very Latino. This is the sport that so many in this community, Latino and otherwise, it's their one and only sport that they truly, truly love. And so we have a real opportunity to capture the imagination of the city, and Carlos just sort of fit the mold, both from a football standpoint and from you got to be somebody in LA. This is a busy, noisy place, and he slots right into the star of stars in the city here.
And Tom, seeing the reaction that Carlos Vela's arrival has caused, without putting too many words in your mouth, would that encourage you to perhaps go that direction, a L3 Mexico international player, to go in that direction again for LAFC when they look for another designated player?
No, not necessarily. I don't think we're profiling that way, so to speak. I mean, now it's always been talent based. I mean, the talent led it first, not the nationality or the identity. It was all talent driven. So we're not necessarily looking to replicate that way again. If it happens, because the deals come along that way, it could make sense. But it could be a player from Argentina. It could be a player from Korea. It could be a player from Detroit. It doesn't really matter at this point. Now it's about building the best possible team with the best possible talent.
By the way, he's not coming from Detroit yet.
Yeah, Alexi coming out of
retirement. No, it's Alexi. Right now, as you approach your opening of the season, what do you appear is your biggest challenge for the club? Something that is at the top of your list, a concern, a challenge that you guys hope to clear before you guys kick things off?
I'm most concerned with now delivering on our fan experience in the way that we've been promising. I feel like our organization has integrity. We're doing what we say we're going to do, and we've said some pretty dramatic things, right? But we feel like Bob and Carlos give a clear signal as to the type of team we're going to have, and I think that's always a challenge in expansion, is to get competitive quickly. And I'm not worried about that. I just know we need to do that, but we've got great leadership working on that as we speak. The other thing we're simultaneously working on, Max, is just delivering an unbelievable fan experience, something that hasn't been done in MLS. And really, we're trying to be best in class in all of pro sports, which is really exciting for MLS. And we've got the infrastructure and the investment to do it. And I'm talking about, like, technology that works. So you're on your phone and you can do everything you want within an app that makes sense. And connectivity with concessions and an amazing supporter section that just makes the place hum, all combined with the incredible food and the atmosphere right there in Exposition Park. I mean, all that just would cause you to win, lose, or draw, walk away and go, man, that was great. I want to come back and do it again and again. In this city, when we deliver that, then it's really something special.
Tom, in my experience, the best fan experience is a team that wins. How realistic is it that LAFC is going to compete for a championship in its opening season?
A championship?
Atlanta's, they're going after it.
Atlanta's breaking the mold.
Yeah, Atlanta's playing very well and, competing for sure for the playoffs. The championship question, you threw the word out, is a whole different level and layer. We know that. Look, if you look traditionally at MLS clubs, well, heck, Bob Bradley did it. He won it. That was a different era and a different time, but he won it in his first year. Other than that, it seems that making the playoffs in the first year is a huge, huge accomplishment, one that almost every expansion team hasn't been able to do.
Tom, we'll leave you with this. Who won in the Kyrie Isaiah Thomas trade?
I don't know. My knee-jerk reaction, I love it for Boston, because they got the best player in the deal, and I really like it for Cleveland. I think it's a win-win deal and one that I didn't see coming. I think it's good.
All right, good stuff.
What do you think?
I thought the Cavs did great under the circumstances. I mean, I thought they were. It looked like the other trades on the table weren't very good.
The number 1 draft pick for the last draft pick.
Yeah, well, you get the number 1 draft. What if the Nets stink next year? That could be the trade of the century.
It's true.
Yeah, it could be good. Look, I like it for Boston because they get the sure thing and they get the best player on their team, and they get past the challenge that they had with Isaiah Thomas at the end of his run, looking for a ton of money. So I think it works for both sides. Really interesting. Makes the East interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And the top 2 teams in the East trading, so that never happens. Hey, Tom, great chatting with you. I'll get Herculez out there to do the tour so you can see what I saw.
I want to see this. I want to see the bells and whistles because it sounds amazing.
They have a great crew there. It's just really cool environment down there. I really enjoyed the time I spent with you guys. So thanks, Tom, and thanks for joining us. I know a lot of people were looking forward to hearing what you had to say about LAFC here on our podcast.
All right. Come back anytime. We got a spot for you out here.
All right.